Good morning, traders. How are we all doing today? Today is August 13th, 2024. It is Tuesday. And the PPI report did come in. I believe it was point one, a tenth of a single percent point better. So I don't know. We'll see, you know. I don't believe it. But the market seemed to be reacting very well. It has pushed up past this resistance level that was previously here. So that is a good sign for the markets. Give me just a second to spread my links around. This did hit my alert. Very nice. Good job. And yeah, welcome. We are a few minutes early. Market does open in about 3 minutes. And right now it seems as though the SPY is reacting very nicely. Oh, that is not it. I was like, wait, what is this? What is this company here? SPY is reacting very nicely to our news as it is getting above, it has broke above this resistance level, which can now act as a support level. So we will see exactly what happens. Let me remove some of these alerts now. That way they don't keep going off on us. But TQQQ is rising. TQQQ is up 3% this morning so far pre-market. And SPY, I think I'm just going to add it to the list here in a second. Just so that we have it and we don't have to keep switching back and forth. By no means is it oversold. I mean, potentially, definitely has some room to grow, right? From a standpoint of a trader or an investor, has a 3.41% chance of continuing that progress up to those highs of 556. Now, can also get up to highs of 565 for about a 5% profit still. So very interesting to see. Oh, sorry, 5.5% profit. So interested to see what happens here, as my prediction that it may or may not, that it may sell off was incorrect. It did finally break through this resistance line, but that doesn't mean much, right? Sometimes a reaction in the market can be an overreaction. If we could find an example here of like this was a possible breakout, right, above the 200-day moving average and the EMA, and then it got up to a certain level and then sold off aggressively. So I know this happened on Wednesday, but still, it's a good point to understand. All right. How are we all doing today? We're going to get more into everything in just a second. Market opens in about 5 minutes. I am spreading my link around to our Discord channel, second link in the description, and as well as our Facebook group with over 80,000 members. The Investing for Beginners community. We also have a webpage, investingforbeginnerscommunity.com. Definitely check that out. There's some useful tools that you can use to start your trading journey. And almost done, guys. Market is almost open here. If I had an easier way to do this, I definitely would. But it's also free. It's also free to simply do it all on your own instead of relying on somebody. So, I mean, what's a few button clicks, few links here and there, right? Anyways. Also, I hope you guys noticed I changed the name. I changed my YouTube name to, sorry, that may have been really loud. I do apologize. I was on my phone. Yeah, I changed it to Johnny Trades. I felt like that was relevant to what I'm doing now. What is Mara doing? Mara's hitting this 14.99 level. We're going to talk about Mara in just a second. Markets open in 3.5 minutes, so we are excited to see what happens. Now, the PPI report did come out as bullish, so we should be seeing some bullishness in the territory, if that's the right word to say. It should be going up, and we're going to wait and see exactly what happens, but this should be going up today. Good morning, Major. Good morning, all of you. How are you all doing today? And then we're going to have some more people tuning in around 7:30. That's when we officially will be live, and the market will be open. Now, remember, we go live every day, Monday through Friday. As long as the market's open, we will be live, and you can guarantee that I'll be streaming it. So you can definitely follow along by subscribing to the channel, and if you find value, smash that like button for me. Let's get these videos to 10 or 20 likes. Every view should be a like, right? Or something like that. So anyways, appreciate you guys, appreciate your support. And so OQGen, real quick, I am going to buy 100 shares if this pulls back to 127. I'll average up as this is beginning to show progress to the upside. If it could pass this 45-day moving average, as you can see, it's been struggling along right here. You can see that this can easily pass that and start going up even more, where I'll add more to my position. I am up already $11 on this little position here of $133. Or about 9%. So honestly, should have threw $1,000 in there and I'd already be up 90 bucks. But didn't, right? It's all about small entries, and as it starts to progress up, adding to your position, adding to your winners, never adding to your losers, which I am still struggling with learning. As you can see here, I traded this entire week. Didn't have to trade it, but I did trade it, and now we are looking at some consolidation. So as you can see, a sell-off has occurred, and now it's trying to bounce out of this channel here, but it's unable to. Now, because of that, market opens in a minute and a half, guys. Because of this resistance here at $18, it's going to be difficult for this to break through, especially with this 45-day moving average going down, still showing signs of a downward trend. So we do want to be aware of that, but you may want to consider loading up around 13, even 13 to $18. Once it does rally, you can see this easily go back up to the next channel, 18 to 20, and possibly up to those highs at $27. Now, overall on the daily, this has gotten up to highs of $34 back in February. So do realize that this was trading at highs of $30 and $34 back in February of this year. So it'd be nice to see what happens, as this is somewhat correlated to Bitcoin. Now, it isn't perfectly correlated, as sometimes this will sell off and Mara will sell off more aggressively, or vice versa. Bitcoin will take a nice rip up and it'll start to show signs of progress, whereas Mara does not really do as much of a move. So right now, even as we speak, Bitcoin is starting to push up and Mara is not reacting the way we want it to. So market's open in just a few minutes. I do have 10 shares, $150 in Mara, and of course my 100 share swing trade in OQGen. So let's see what the market does here as the SPY opens up. Is it going to sell off? Is it going to continue to rally? Let us see here. Market opens right now. Ding, ding, ding. Market is officially open. So looking at the 30-minute chart, looks like it may sell off. People are definitely taking their profits. Now, this is up substantially from yesterday, right? It closed at this area. Okay, right here. It opened about a 0.5% point above where it closed, and it's up about 3/4 of a point. So not much on that scale of things, but let us look at TQQQ. TQQQ should be up about 3%. Yep, TQQ is up 3%. So remember, this ETF is a 3 times or triple leveraged company that is for the market. So if the NASDAQ goes up 1%, this will go up 3%. And as you can see, it has gone up 3.15% from that pullback. Okay, so it closed, as you can see here, it was kind of consolidated all day. I did trade it yesterday in this area and this area, but nothing happened. So I ended up just selling it right here once it pulled back up. Now, if I would have held, we'd be up 3%. And it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a heck of a lot of money. So, but still, 3% could have been like 30 bucks or so. But look at this. It gapped up. It pulled back to back where it needed to be, and now it is starting to push up again. So from a larger scale, this did break out of this resistance level, which would now be a support level. Sorry for all the different lines here. Whoops, did not mean to delete that one. There we go. Which could mean that this is starting to, obviously show signs of upward momentum. Starting from down here at $49, you can see it's making progress up into bullish territory to where we can actually see a nice return when it does finally start to actually rip. You can see returns of 38%. So yes, I know, being very cautious this week, I could have just held on to those shares and been fine, but this was a critical move here. Not only was this 45-day moving average very critical point for it to cross over to consider it bullish and give it demand to go up, but also to give it the ability to get a lower price due to it selling off. Now, if it would have hit this EMA line like it did here, it would have got rejected and we would have continued to see a downward trend. Now, this could be the first stages of a potential reversal on the market as a whole. Looking at Amazon, you see it pulling up a little bit. It still has to test its 4-hour EMA. Microsoft did pass its EMA, which is a huge contributor to the market. It's over $3 trillion. So that is a huge contributor to why the market is going up, as well as NVIDIA. NVIDIA is also helping the market go up very nicely. These will now become support levels, as previously they were resistance levels. So now they'll become support levels, and hopefully we start seeing this nice trend up. If we do, then we can see a 25% return if you just held from this point of buying. Now, as far as day trading and stuff like that, then we need to ask ourselves a bigger picture. Can we make some money on these moves? And yes, you really can. And that's exactly what we're going to try to figure out today. So overall market is bullish, is what it looks like anyways for right now. PPI reports came out as a little bit better than what they should have been. And overall, we should be able to invest in quite a few of these companies without too much, let's just say as much risk, because it's continuing to go up, right? So so now that we know that the market is bullish, let's look at Oxygen, 129. I might get filled at 127. That'd be really nice. We'll see what happens there. 1512, Samara is starting to push up. Now, this is my trading strategy here, as I see that it started selling off Mara and it started flatlining here at 15.16, kind of $15. We can see that's trying to start to consolidate. Now, if it starts making lower lows, which obviously now you can see it's creating a bit of a lower low, it's not really consolidating, is it? It's still selling off. So this may continue to sell off, maybe get up here, and then kind of just start going back down, as this is showcasing a downward trend. Okay, so it needs to break that level before we can actually really do anything or add more to our position. Okay, now what else can we do? Let's look. Let's look. SOLX is up 3.5%. You can't really tell. Let's look at the 30-minute charts. Selling off a little bit, which is not good for us. NVIDIA selling off just a little bit. Same thing, came up to a nice high, hit that resistance level, couldn't get it, couldn't pass it, broke down below, and then gapped up overnight, and then came right back down below that resistance level. So this could have been a slight pullback or fake out for the bulls, and this could continue to sell off, or it can just continue to consolidate and go back to these levels and just bounce within these levels right here in this channel. So still very curious to see what happens today, as it isn't showing signs that it is actually going up in our favor now, right? It was at the beginning of the morning, but now I think it's compensating for the fact that there is this gap here. It probably will pull back about that much, if not all the way back down to this 110 support. And that's what's so great about the market, guys. There's so many things going on. There's so much news. There's so much influence. There's so much hype that it's very interesting to see how the market reacts to the world, to our world, right? I don't know if that's a little deep or not. I guess that's a little deep, but basically how it reacts to our world. You know what I mean? So bouncing off of this EMA, as you can see here, it was kind of quite opposite, as it was finding support and was wanting to sell off here on the SPY, but wasn't quite able to break that support level. The EMA is a very strong indicator. It can act as support or it can act as resistance. And because of that, it showed strong support. It couldn't break through these levels, identifying that, hey, this is still extremely bullish. We may want to consider investing into it. And that's something maybe I should have thought of buying a few shares of yesterday. As it did spike up, came back down another time, tested that support range again on the EMA 45-day, and then shot up. So very, very nice on that for sure. Up 0.81%, but by knowing that, you could have considered investing in TQQQ, which is right here. And as you can see, it's still going up. It is up now 3.83%. It's actually coming down a little bit now, about 3.5%. But same thing, if we were aware of this, if I would have noticed this last night on the computer, you can't really see this on the phone, as sometimes the phone is a bit, it's just weird. Like some of your indicators aren't there or your lines aren't there. You have to customize your phone to make sure it kind of matches your desktop. But if I would have noticed this yesterday, this would have been a strong indication that, hey, we are still bullish. Now it's overbought. Now I don't know what to do, right? Because now it's overbought. It could pull back slightly, right? Showing signs that it's still weak. It's very weak above $61. So people are locking in profits potentially. Is it going to continue to rise and go to 62, or is it going to fall back down to these buy ranges? You know what I mean? Or just even previous support, which was right around there from this morning, right? Or to that EMA line. I did pass over the SMA line, which is a great indication that the markets are bullish. So actually, I am going to go ahead and potentially get in to this. It's a bit overbought. It's going to sell off. Usually when I say I'm going to buy something, it usually will sell off. See? I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. You gotta adapt to your own self, right? You have to learn from your past mistakes. You'd buy here, sells off. You'd sell here, maybe you should consider buying, right? Do the opposite. See, do the opposite of what you think you want to do, and you probably will be a little bit more successful, at least at the beginning, right? Then over time you can adjust it as you want. Okay, TQQQ is selling off, which means SQQQ may come back up. But look at SQQQ now. This is the bear market, or the bear ETF, triple leveraged of the NASDAQ. So when the NASDAQ sells off, this does really well. And when the NASDAQ does really well, unfortunately, this sells off. And that's what we're seeing over the last day, or at least overnight anyways, right? Yesterday it was just kind of weird. It like didn't do much. It just went sideways. The whole market went sideways and consolidated to figure out what was going to happen this morning with the PPI, consumer, the consumer index. Well, not the CPI, but the PPI. So it sold off from market close to where it is now. It sold off 4%, which means the market obviously went up roughly 3% or so. From close, let's just go back to here, 3.72%. So when the market goes up, SQQ goes down and vice versa. So now there is a sell-off. It looks like there is a potential sell-off because I was going to buy at this point, and now it's retesting. So I believe it's going to just retest here at the EMA, potentially bounce off. So we're going to wait and try to get into a better price point. We may or may not miss it here. I think we're going to go here. Just for the fact of this candle, a lot of a lot of selling pressure, but also a lot of buying pressure, which makes it almost like a doji star. 2 sell-offs here. Let's see if I'm right for at least one candle, right? This should indicate a lot of buyers, right? And also there was somewhat of a support here and here during open hours. So no, it's going to sell off. Potentially hit this EMA, or I'm wrong and it'll just continue, it'll just sell off for the rest of the day. It'll come back down to these levels and continue to consolidate. But I can guarantee you if it breaks this EMA, then it's just going to indicate that it's going to be selling off. And then now that's when your thought process comes in. You're like, man, I should have just bought down here. What's the worst that can happen? It's going to go lower. Well, yeah. But now it's done nothing but go up from 47s and $50 levels all the way up to $61 levels now. Very nice, very nice. A 25% profit in a week based on this pullback from the market and then buying here at this sign. First signs of confirmation. First signs of confirmation would have been above this 45-day moving average on the 1-hour chart. You can also say you got confirmation back on the 5th when it started testing these levels potentially. But there wasn't really full confirmation until the 8th, which was last Thursday after that Wednesday sell-off. A lot of uncertainty, but then the 8th came, it rose above that 45-day moving average, and it's actually been staying above it ever since. So from even that point to here, that's a 13% profit in 5 days. By knowing that, hey, this is above the 45-day moving average, we shouldn't have to worry about it too much, and understanding some real basics. Okay, look, check that out. On the 1 minute, it bounced on that 45-day moving average, which is great. Could have bought in at a lower price, say at $61, like literally right there it touched $60.99. $60.99. That would have been a great entry, which means SQQQ also touched that line and is now selling off, which is great. Okay, so we are in the right direction. We are trading in the direction of the market currently. SQQ is selling off, so we don't want a position. And TQQQ is pushing up, and so we do want a position. And right now we are in a position, very, very high up position. Like we should have been down here in the 59 mark. Now this can catch resistance, guys, because resistance is real. And it looks like it can catch resistance right there in that area. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to set another horizontal line, as it looks like it's right at resistance levels, guys. Do you see that here? This is the second line. Support, support. Oh wait, hold on. It's the next one up. It had somewhat of support here. Had some resistance. It broke it. Then it had some support and resistance in this area. A lot of consolidation. Now, when I go over, let me see if I can expand it out a little bit. Oh, there it is right there. It's coming into this territory, right? It's coming into that support and resistance range. Still above the EMA, but it can possibly still sell off. Scott Boss, look, MIGI. All right, all right, all right, all right. I can do that. You guys got any other call outs? Definitely do so. Whoa, that looks really nice. Good call out, sir. Above the EMA line, definitely. Crossed over that SMA line as well. Pushed up in a single day 100%, and then if you held overnight, it is up right now currently 113%. Scott, this would have been a great call out yesterday or pre-market. Pre-market would have been very nice as well. Still a great call out. Still a great call out. I'm just giving you a hard time. But man, that would have been nice to get into. He says it was a fun ride. Dang, good job, Scott. Good job. I need to get on your trade ideas if you have one, or your signals for the morning. Good job, Scott. Good job. Guys, that's 100% overnight from EMA levels down here, or 25% pre-market. 24 to 25% pre-market. It's $250 for every $1,000 that you invest. And it still looks like it wants to go up even more. Let's look at the 4-hour here. Oh, wow. Very nice. Nice sell-off here. Right here was perfect. Rejection period, consolidation, found that there was no lower lows, and now it is pushing up. Very, very nice call out here. Now, can it continue to go up, Scott? That's the question. Or do you believe it's overbought? Because I do believe it is extremely overbought now. Just from previous area levels where it was at. We go to the 4-hour. Yeah, I see it's coming up to some pretty crucial areas here. See, that's very crucial, resistant. That would have been that's a pretty decent one right there too, guys. At $1.99, that makes sense, right? Because that's at $2. $2 is one of those psychological factor numbers, you know what I mean? But look at that. It broke the resistance, which gave us that nice green candle. It broke it, retested to confirm that this was support, not resistance, and then it shot back up. Scott says, I think we are at the end. Good call, Scott. Good call. I'm sure he's already locked in profits as well. Great call out. Hey, where are you tomorrow? And let me get your number, right, for tomorrow's signals. Just kidding, Scott. But yeah. Very awesome. Very good call out from one of our subscribers. There's a lot of members in this community that have been doing it a lot longer than I have. Or just finding success in different ways. And that's what's so great about the market, is that people can find success in whatever they do as long as you put in the work and as long as you understand what you're doing, right? We're not just guessing. We're not just throwing money into the market just because we feel like it, and just learning and growing over time. So TQQQ found some resistance here at 61.65. This is very interesting, as it did have a bit of a weakness point here where I bought in. Now let's look at what the overall market is doing here real quick. SPY, it does have a nice little pullback here. So this is going to act as support. Let's throw in our resistance line just to be safe, guys, just to be safe. On the 1-hour, makes sense. Why does it make sense? Here we go, look. Our resistance where we are today, in the past, on July 25th and on July 30th, was the support. So this is testing a crucial point. Even right here, this was a strong support, and then it crashed over hours or after hours, and now has been down past this line ever since. So this is a very strong resistance level, and it's a key level. If we can break this key level at 538.30, then we can see this continue to push up. And that looks like exactly what it wants to do right now, as it is still testing this level here. AMZN's going up 131. I was not able to buy. It did not go down low enough. It went down to 128. Can you see right there? It went down to 128. So I kind of thought about it too. I was like, it's probably going to hit this SMA line. And I even thought about it this morning. I was like, if I put it to 128, I know pretty sure I'll get filled, right? It's a 2-cent pullback. It was at 130. I was like, 2 cents, it's not that bad. Looking at these levels, I'm pretty sure I would get filled, you know, at that 128 level, as it has touched it quite a few times. It pulled back to 127 briefly yesterday, but did not pull back today. Now, that doesn't mean it can't pull back if it wants to today, down to 125, 127, but I did miss out on that cool opportunity there to get filled at 127 by 1 cent. I should have had it to 128. So if this does pull back to 128, I will consider adding another 100 shares. Right now I am up $9 on AMZN, but overall, guys, welcome. Hey, welcome to the live stream. We just crossed over 10 viewers. Very cool. I've done that a few times over the last week. It's great to see you guys joining and tuning in. Drop your ticker symbol in the comments. I don't mind taking a look and doing a stock review on it. And yeah, we are in TQQQ and MARA at the moment. So for all of you just joining, we are going over the market as a whole, and we are going over specific stocks and ETFs, as well as Bitcoin as well. So stick around, and yeah, thanks for joining. So Oxygen does have the potential to go up to that 196 level, not based off of just one pattern, not based off of two patterns, but based off of three different patterns, guys. Look at this. Started back in March 21. March 21, guys, is when it started. So in March, it pushed up from $1.11 all the way to $2. Came back down to $1.11, $2. Back down to $1.11, $2. Back down to $1.20. Oh, $1.20. I'll take it. And now it's starting to make its way back up. So I did trade it on this last one, and it was very nice. I didn't hold all the way to the top, as I did sell here as it was kind of consolidating on this SMA line for like 3 or 4 days. I didn't want to lose but profits I already had, as it could have got rejected, but it didn't. It stayed true to its upward momentum. It stayed above that 45-day moving average, the blue line, for the duration of the entire time it ran up, from $1 all the way to $1.97. So that would have resulted in a 75% return. Unfortunately, I sold around this level, so only had about a 50% return. But hey, 50% return is not bad at all. Not bad at all. So now it's selling off, and now it's consolidating at a lower level, so I'm comfortable buying in. And when it does begin to go up, even from the levels that we're at currently, even at 131 to previous resistance levels, is a 50% profit. So a 50% profit is what you could expect from this, from 130 to $2. Now, remember, I'll never tell you what to buy, hold, or sell. That's not what I do here. But the point of this is to educate you guys on 4 key principles before you make an investment. And that is, 1, direction must be in your favor. You want to invest when it's going up, right? That's why I have trades here as it goes up. I'm averaging up, I'm buying as it goes up, and I'm not doing it when it's going down, trying to get a better average as it goes down, okay? So direction is number 1. Number 2 is understanding previous patterns. Obviously, we can understand this pattern very easily. This is called a horizontal pattern. There are patterns that go up, there are patterns that go down, declining, upward. There's a ton of different patterns, but this is a horizontal pattern. This is one of my favorite patterns to trade. Okay, so as direction, as you understand the patterns, then the number 3 would be key levels. By understanding key levels like support, which is these green lines, buy range, and resistance, which is these red lines, sell range, you could then understand your opportunity cost, which is number 4. Okay, I would not invest here at this point and make 6% when I know I can lose 41%. In fact, I would do the exact opposite, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I am going to risk about 10% or so, which is fine, because I could always average down in this buy range area, right? Or I can sell and cut my losses if it doesn't go in my favor. So I'm risking 8 to 10% from where I'm at. And actually, my position's way down here. It's at 122. So let's delete that. We'll do it correctly. Let's go to 122. Okay. I'm risking less than 2%, 2% to 8% maximum. 2 to 8% of risk to make 60%. Okay, so I'm risking 5% to make 60%. That is a huge return. Huge return. Okay, a lot of times people will risk 5 to 10. So if 5% risk and I make 10% profit, that's a 1 or 2 to 1 risk to reward, or 1 to 2 risk to reward. You're risking 5% to make 10%. So you're risking 1% to make 2%. But when you take that and you say, okay, I'm going to risk 5% to make 60%, that is incredible. I don't know if that was like a 6-to-1. It's a big gain. Okay, so Mara right now, or Ocugen, is testing this 45-day moving average as it did before. Now, it may just sell off a little bit more, so that's why I was like, I don't mind having that share price down here, as it did bounce off of that 200-day moving average for just a moment. Now, if it breaks below this moving average, then we can actually get a better average, and we could buy more at, like, say, that 120, 122 level if it actually does end up breaking and selling off, as it did here. It broke that 138, 136 level, came right back down to 120, which would give me even a better opportunity to buy if that does begin to happen. So as of right now, it doesn't look like it is going to happen, as it did test this one more time and seems to be wanting to stay true to its course. So we'll leave it at that. Mara is not doing much at all. It's actually following a downward trend line. Still following it. Hasn't done much. On the 5-minute here. Yeah, it's just kind of staying within this little channel here. So it needs to break either below and sell off more, or above, but this is not a good sign, as it did break this EMA. Now it's testing the 45-day moving average as a support. It's also testing the 200-day moving average as a resistance. So we're kind of in a tight spot here. This can continue to sell off, as it is somewhat correlated to Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin seems to be wanting to push up, still above that 45-day moving average. And Bitcoin as a whole, I'm sorry, that was Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin as a whole does seem to still be pushing up, so maybe we'll start seeing Mara break through and get up to some higher levels here. Very excited to see what happens. Let's see, Bitcoin, department balance sheet, current assets, unaudited. If you guys want to pause this and you find it interesting, then you can. Stock liability, stockholder equity. Interesting. Well, there is that push, though, off of that 45-day moving average, so we are going to guarantee at least a few more minutes here before a pullback. Let's go to oversold levels. Let's see what TQQQ is doing as a whole. Again, testing that resistance level here. This is a critical point, guys. There's a lot of critical points this week. Not only this EMA line and the MA line, right? The 45-day moving average and the 200-day moving average kind of crossing over each other a couple times this week, trying to figure out what its true range is and what its direction is. Now, I do believe that happened here in this consolidation phase last week, as we did see a huge sell-off and then it pulled right back up to this channel, trading within this channel for quite a few days before it saw a nice breakout above that $59.30 mark. Now it's broke above, creating a very nice profit, a 4% profit for anyone who invested down at that $59 level. But it's testing another key resistance, guys. Testing another key resistance here. As you can see, back in July 25th, July 30th, and even August 1st, it tested this 62.50 level and this 61.60 level. It tested both of these levels for about a week before dropping below and staying down there. So this is another key area. Are we going to see progress to the upside, or is it just going to consolidate a little bit more? It looks like it finally broke above. And can we hold it? Can we hold it? This is critical. Now, as we get squeezed, as this squeezes higher and higher, if this does continue to push higher and higher, you can see that this will actually start to squeeze as well. And we will get a threshold to where it will have to decide, does it break the trend up and pass this level, or does it break the trend and start to go down and start losing that momentum and selling off? So very critical area. You don't necessarily need the yellow line. You could just use your 45-day moving average. Now, Tina, if you are watching, I did let you know that I wanted to make a video for you yesterday on what exactly an EMA line is, an MA line is, their functionality and purpose, as well as support and resistance levels. Again, I know that is a video that I need to add to our Learn Lesson library. I have 10 videos, but I don't believe I've covered that one just yet. So bear with me here. Give me another day or so, and I will put that out for you. So guys, there we go. Broke that key level. It broke that key level. So we should start seeing more upward momentum progress. SQQ continues to sell off. NVIDIA looking very nice. Now, guys, TQQQ is more tech heavy, right, than most other companies. It's a little bit more tech heavy. Okay, so it's going to be based off of those big tech companies like Microsoft, NVIDIA, Amazon, stuff like that. Amazon had a really big sell-off. Imagine if we would have sold up, the market would have sold off like that with Amazon just now. Took a little bit of a pullback, but NVIDIA really helped set the course on that. Now, Intel looked really good, didn't it? Intel looked really good this morning. Well, guys, it's been trading within this channel for quite some time before it sold off. Now it's been trading within this channel the entire month of August. It's starting to show signs of progress, which is great, right? If it can hold. If it's not just a bunch of pump and dumps that people are going to be playing on this. 3.5% up. Now I wouldn't mind investing a few dollars into Intel and just holding it. But I don't necessarily want to do that right now as it is starting to sell off. I'd rather buy around $18 or maybe even $19. Because, hey, I still think this can get a little bit cheaper. Now, if it bounces off this EMA line, this will confirm that, yes, this is still bullish, and it can go up 1.7%. Or it can sell off 1.4%. Let's see what happens real quick on this. If you guys have any companies you want me to look at, definitely leave a comment. What does it do? What does Intel do here? I think it bounces. I think it bounces above. Maybe oversold though. It may come back down to these previous levels here, 1933. Let's look at a 5-minute. Yeah, it's selling off. That's what happened. It broke through another key resistance here, a daily resistance level. See that? It broke past it and then immediately got rejected. It said, nope, you ain't gonna break out. So it was a false breakout here, guys. False breakout. Let's see what happens. Does it bounce? Let's buy 10 shares and test it out. Nope. That's funny. That's all I have to do is be like, I'm gonna buy, and then it sells off. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna sell here, and then I could buy, right? I mean, it still might go up though. If it stays above the EMA, then that's gonna be considered bullish still. $19.83, $19.84. We're gonna go ahead and buy a few. Why not? It opened green on this and went straight to red. See if we test this again, see what happens. We may test this a couple times. Or now that I bought it, it'll just sell off. That's usually what happens too. That's usually what happens too. Okay, so we're gonna wait and see what happens here. 1975 will be the area that I may just cut my losses if it doesn't go into my favor. I could also say 1953 back at these levels. So we'll see. 2011 would be my target to sell if it does work out, but I honestly don't think it's even working in my favor anymore. I just bought it during a sell-off. SPY is selling off. It just passed that 45-day moving average. First time it's done that since pre-market and since it sold off during after hours. Let's see if this is just some kind of a little bit of a release of pressure here. Bitcoin also selling off, so this could have just been a really bad fake out right here, guys. Could have just been a fake out. Got rejected by the moving average. It crashed below the EMA. Let's see what happens here. TQQQ, see, slightly above that resistance level. So now we can say that this is still strong support. But if it crashes below it, we're done skis, guys. We're done skis for the day. Went from bullish to somewhat bearish right off the bat. Look at that, selling off. Does it hold? Does it hold here and we just get a better price potentially? Bitcoin trying to push back up. Mara back below 1512. Wanting to push up higher, but just isn't managing to do so just yet. There we go, pushing up. TQQQ still making a move up. I wanted to add 10 shares there, but then I didn't. I wouldn't mind getting in at 61. I mean, honestly, 61.50 again would be nice. $61.50 would be nice. I may just have to buy here now, as this may continue to push up now, and we're going to miss our opportunity to continue riding this up, as it did find that support. Still finding that support here, which now would make this a support. It wouldn't make this a resistance anymore. And stay above it. I'm going to buy 10 shares to average up. Yeah. And as soon as I say that, it sells off. I tell you every single time, like with no fail at all. That is so funny that it does that. It just must be the timing, I guess. Amazon testing this here as well. This is kind of what's holding us back. Microsoft not doing bad, NVIDIA not doing bad, Intel even trying to find that support here at 1980. But Amazon is just not doing well at all. Has a lot of resistance on that EMA and SMA line. Selling off. This got down to 130. This is slightly below that resistance. This may be my only opportunity to really even average up, though, at 130. People are selling at 130. I'm going to go to 130. I'm going to average up. If it pulls back just one little point, I'll be able to average up into my position. 131. I don't want to go too high, but I don't want to act like I missed it either. Under shares at 131 wouldn't give me that much of a good average anyways. Go back to 129. If I can get a better average for OCGN, then I won't really have to worry about averaging up. It's not really averaging up either if it's going back to a previous price, so I want to be smart about it. It's testing this again. A lot of sell-off. Look at this at 1.3. One 301, 1305, 1303. I'm gonna buy at 1.3. Yeah, I'm gonna buy at 1.3. See if my spread gets it or not. If it don't, that's okay. 135. Technically, I'm averaging up, right, guys? Trying to average up here. I don't average up too much. Don't want to miss it either. That new SMA line is right there at the 135. There we go. 1.3. Potentially get filled. I guess we'll just wait and see what happens with that. Mara not doing much here either. Bitcoin selling off. Now, as long as it stays above the EMA, we will be fine. But it looks like it keeps wanting to test that EMA, so we'll see. Looks like it's going back up again. But maybe some consolidation here. I know we did miss out on this drop here at 1475. That would have been nice. 4% profit. We've been in and out and been about our day. That was not the case. Bought 20 shares way up at 61.79. I could have bought down here at 61.55, 61.60. So that's all right. As this is still showcasing signs of a bullish market. It's still very bullish. Wow. I missed it. I missed it again. That's okay. It'll come back down. But now it's even higher, right? So we're going to keep moving this up as our average keeps moving up, or our moving average. See how it's at 132. I'd say 131 is not bad. Especially if it stays in this upward momentum direction. This would not be bad to catch if it pulls back a few cents. Catch this as it will go up. It's even got as high as 133. We'll still have a nice average. We'll have 200 shares, so we'll have more exposure. It just doesn't seem like it wants to move the way we want it to. It's just trading sideways. Should have got right there at that point. 1315 seems like to be where it wants to be right now. Now it can still pull back. If it does, we'll get at 131. That's almost gone up 10 cents since I bought in on it. Back here somewhere. No way. How far back was this? Where are my trades? Where are my trades showing? Oh, there we go. Since this candle here, 122 on August 9th at 122 on this red candle, which I thought would be a great price because it touched right here at 121, 122, and then it went up, down, and it's just been kind of slowly going up ever since. There we go, 131. Let's see if we can get filled. If it drops just another half a point or so, we could potentially get filled. May have to go up 1 cent, 1/2 a cent higher. See what happens on that in just a second. Mara pushing up. Testing that 200-day moving average again. Intel selling off now, of course. Touched that 1975, so we're going to have to shut this down. Yeah. We're going to sell our 10 shares of Intel as it did not go with our trading plan. It hit that 1975 bell, came down to 1972. We sold at 1973. Now this may just start ripping back up, but unfortunately it hit our stop loss, and so we are out. It's a good thing, right? Because it's actually past this 45-day moving average, showing signs of weakness, still making lower lows and lower highs now, and not the other way around. So it's technically selling off. I'm glad we got out of that position, only losing about $1. Not bad at all. Made it right back with Mara, as well as our TQQQ position. Now this would be a nice average to get into here. I have 20 shares of TQQQ for $1,200 for the market. I am long on the market right now. And along on Mara as well. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Woo! Wife brought me some coffee. Some delicious coffee. Definitely needed to wake up. So yeah, it looks like we're going to be testing this EMA line, hopefully just showing continuous progress. Now, if this does start to sell off, don't get too worried, as it could just go back down to these $59 levels that it was at yesterday. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys showing up. I know it's not easy waking up early in the morning, but this is my favorite part of the day. I love looking at charts, talking about stocks, and hanging out with you guys while doing so. So I appreciate you guys' time. If you can do me one little favor and smash that like button, let's start getting some of these live streams to 20 likes per live stream, and I'll consider maybe even starting some pre-market or doing some, nightly recaps or some game plan setups for the following week. Overall, guys, I appreciate your time, and remember, let's focus on our key areas. Direction must be in our favor. You must understand previous patterns. You must identify key levels like support and resistance. And number 4, you must understand your opportunity cost before taking a trade. You can also follow me along the Discord, second link below. That'll give you access to all my trade ideas, strategies, and everything throughout the day when I'm not live during these live trading sessions in the morning. So with that said, join the Discord, get involved, hang out with other like-minded individuals such as yourself that all want to learn how to be more successful and make money in the stock market. So let's remember, let's end the year on a green note. Thanks, guys. See you next time.